each of these movements, whether it is the language movement, the people who died, the shooting took place in Dhaka University, it is the people, the youth who led the movement. The Liberation War, Mukti Bahini, the people who came to India for training, the people who fought for the liberation of Bangladesh, they were at that time between 15 and 25. And even today, they are fathers, young fathers, they are between their 50s and 60s, very young people. And today in Shahbag Square, in Pojani Chowkar, as Chandan told us, a new name, new generation roundabout, the people there are young professionals. They are people who are on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and that is how they have mobilized this movement. So I think that to understand the essence of what is happening in Bengal and to get across what we want in our India-Bangladesh relationship, we have to reach out to the youth of Bangladesh. And I think that this is one aspect of our interaction with Bangladesh that has been greatly missing. Because we have always had a good government-to-government relationship we have tried to have. Even now, our president has just been there. It was a remarkably successful visit, and it was a very good thing that our president went despite the difficulties. But I think that the fact that the people there are the young people and they want a change, we must reach out to them, we must explain to them what is our view on relationship between India and Bangladesh. And I say this because in 2008, I was there between 2003 and 2006 as High Commissioner. And in the Khaleda Zia years, when Jamaat was an active member of the government for perhaps the first time in the history of Bangladesh, I saw what Jamaat tried to do in Bangladesh, how they were recruiting actively, and they thought that in the 2008 elections they would win again because they had recruited so many people, they had spent so much money, they had so much government backing, but they did not. And why? Because it's the youth of Bangladesh who voted with Sheikh Hasina because her manifesto promised certain things. Her manifesto promised to bring back secularism in the constitution. Her manifesto promised good relations with neighbors, with all. Particularly India. Her manifesto promised building of the Ganga barrage, which was a big promise left over after Ganga Waters Treaty. And her manifesto promised war crimes trial. The voting bank in Bangladesh is very simple. 33% is Awami League, 33% is BNP. You cannot do anything about this. They will get the votes. BNP still got 33% votes in the last election, even though they got very few seats. That is the system of the first past the post that there is. The remaining 33%, you have Jamaat, which has never crossed 8% of the level, maximum maybe 10.5 or 11 when they had the maximum number of seats. You have Ershad's party, which has Jatiya Party, which has a few 3 to 4%. The remaining 25% of the population is an apolitical swing vote. These are the people who are there in Shahbag Square. The question is not whether Sheikh Hasina can control Shahbag Square. I think Sheikh Hasina and political parties should stay away from Shahbag Square. Issues should be discussed in Shahbag Square because the issues they are discussing are very important for India. We want to know. The demand, I think it was mentioned by one, but the most important demand that has come from Shahbag Square, for me, is not the death penalty. In fact, many people in Bangladesh are saying it's amazing to have 10,000 people demanding death for one person. So it's not the death penalty issue. The demand of Shahbag Square is to ban religion from politics. This is a demand which is very important in South Asia. It's important for Pakistan, it's important for India, it's important for Bangladesh. We're not even talking about this demand in our media. We should be talking about this, discussing it with them. Sheikh Mujib was the first person in South Asia who took that in the 1972 constitution of Bangladesh. Religion was banned from politics. And when Sheikh Hasina promised in 2008, which gave her the 3/4 majority in parliament, she promised to bring back the 1972 constitution. But she has not done it incomplete because she has brought back the word secularism, but she has not banned religion from politics, and she has not removed the other elements of the constitution which were brought in by the military dictatorship. So I think these are the issues that we should be looking at in a very important way and seeing how we can bring the people of Bangladesh around to this point of view. I think the communal violence in Bangladesh is terrible. And it is amazing how every time that there is any issue in Bangladesh, it results in communal violence. The communal violence against the Buddhists last year was because of the Rohingya issue. That was the cause for the communal violence. And you know, there was this issue between Bangladesh and Myanmar. It is still a very big issue. And the issue in Bangladesh, I must tell you, between Bangladesh and Myanmar is identical to what we have between Bangladesh and India as far as illegal migration is concerned. Because the Bangladeshis are going as illegal migrants to Myanmar, and this is causing the problem. There is an additional issue of the historical migration of Rohingyas, which the British took as agricultural workers to the Arakan region of Myanmar. That's a historical issue, a separate one, and those people deserve the citizenship of Myanmar. But the contemporary issue of illegal migration is there, and it will not be solved until Bangladesh and Myanmar talk about it, unless, as the same way as it will not be solved in India unless India and Bangladesh talk about it. So we have to recognize that this communal violence gives Bangladesh a very bad name, and this is the point to be discussed. Why not? It's not a question of Hindu or Buddhist or not talking, but a country which has decided to ban religion from politics. I think we should support that move again in Shahbaz State to ban it once again and to talk about this issue. I think this whole right to appeal that is talked about, that the Sheikh Hasina has brought about in the new amendment, in my view it's a mistake. Because many people say that once you have the right to appeal, no decision will ever be implemented. And the appeals will go on, and the war crime trial will absolutely not succeed. But I think that we have to understand the importance of Bangladesh as a neighbor. We must have good relations with Bangladesh. We must talk about all the issues. We are talking about only half the issues with Bangladesh. We talk about water, we talk about border killings, we talk about land boundary agreement. But what about cattle smuggling? What about illegal immigration? What about the Hindus and the communal violence against the Hindus? These issues being under the carpet has created a whole aspect of vested interests which are mitigating against good relations between India and Bangladesh. And religion is coming in as the cover. But actually, we must realistically talk to Bangladesh about all these issues, and they will be prepared to talk about it. I remember in 2001, when Khaleda Zia was elected, there was such a lot of communal violence against the Hindus that when Brijesh Mishra went to Bangladesh as a special envoy of Prime Minister Vajpayee, he raised this issue. But it was a very negative response from Khaleda Zia. And after that, we have not done that again. Illegal migration from Bangladesh. In 1992, when Khaleda Zia came on her first official visit as Prime Minister of Bangladesh to India, it was mentioned in the communique. In the 92 communique is the only India-Bangladesh document where we have talked about illegal migration. But after that, we have never released it again. Because the person who got that into the communique from the Bangladesh side almost lost his job when he went back to Bangladesh. I think one of the most important issues to be looked at with Bangladesh is the economic cooperation issue. And unless we get this right, this will not get us anywhere. Because the vested interest for Bangladesh in good relations with India is through economic cooperation, regional economic integration. This is the real issue that we have to bring to Bangladesh, whether through BIMSTEC, whether sub-regionally, we are talking about the BBIN region, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, which is West Bengal and Northeast India, and Nepal. We're talking about this as a sub-region, and SAARC recognizes these sub-regions of growth. So we have to find many ways of bringing Bangladesh into an economic cooperation with India, which will give their children vested interest. The Shahbaz Square people are not anti-Indian because they recognize the importance of good economic relations with India. Those will give them jobs. But how can you talk about jobs unless you recognize the importance of work permits? If you recognize the importance of work permits, the illegal immigration question will go away. But the illegal immigration question will not go away unless it's a vote bank, unless people look upon it as a vote bank politics. If the politicians are going to look upon that as vote bank politics, and then you want the illegal immigrants to go back, it will never happen. So we have to get many things right within ourselves, within our country. We have to discuss these issues and get them right. Only then will we have these good relations with Bangladesh, and we have to engage. Metaphorically, India walked out of Bangladesh when Sheikh Mujib was assassinated in 1975. We have to reverse that, get back into Bangladesh, engage with everybody, with all our neighbors for good relations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for staying.